5 Rose Bowl. So, got a little bad news I need to announce to everybody. It turns out our esteemed minister, His Holiness Ian Davey, who was ordained recently on the internet, his certification actually expired last week, so if you guys are free, we're going to come back next week and do this all over again. No, I'm just kidding around. Ian's in good standing with the Universal Life Church, and we're all married up and good to go. So when I tried to think about what I wanted to say today, I kind of thought, Jackson, I was just going to make fun of you a lot. I wanted tastefully, but I was going to rip on him and just roast the hell out of him, and it was going to be a lot of fun. And I tried to write it down, and it occurred to me that that wasn't an avenue I was going to be able to take. The reason for that is when you're talking about Jackson, you're talking about somebody who's intelligent, conscientious, quick-witted, funny, genuinely puts other people in front of himself, and just makes great decisions. So, you don't really give me anything to work with. And I think you realize really quickly when you see people around Jackson, everybody he knows loves him. And a great story I can tell you is, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, he and I actually went out and we visited my folks out in the country, and my grandparents happened to be in town. And if you've ever met my grandma, I love her, but she's a tough old lady and she hates everybody. Within 15 or 20 minutes, that changed because Jackson had charmed the hell out of her, and he was absolutely had her wrapped around his little finger. And it got to the point where she actually pulled me aside, and she says, Dusty, she calls me that because she knows I hate it. She said, I have to tell you something. I'm like, Grandma, what's going on? Dusty, you can't hang out with this guy anymore. I'm like, Grandma, this is one of my good friends. What are we talking about here? I thought you really liked him. I do really like him. That's the problem, she says. Compared to him, you don't really measure up very well. That's tough, because that's your grandmother. She should put me up here on a pedestal over everybody. And I thought for 20 some odd years, I'd done a great job of tricking her into thinking I was this wonderful guy. She meets Jackson, and the best way she can love me at that point is to tell me that, if a girl meets me in Jackson, it's not going to go in my way. So, in all seriousness, that did happen. But I think you realize really quickly when you're around Jackson, what kind of a person he is and what he's all about. And I think, if we have 200 people in this room, we could probably get 200 different stories about the way he's, touched your life or had an impact on everybody. And I think that's a really rare thing, and I don't think you can say that about everybody. I got to be honest, for years, I've actually dreaded the day he was going to get married, because for the better part of my adult life, if I want to go to a football game, Jackson's my guy. If I want to play sports, he's my guy. If I want to just get beers or hang out around the house, he's going to be there. I always was afraid, if he got married, this was going to dramatically affect the relationship. But I always had an ace up my sleeve, because historically, and I mean historically, but Jackson used to date girls who were just total train wrecks. And so I didn't think he was going to get married till he was 35. And I thought I was going to be done at 32 or 33, so at that point, that's your problem. I'm good. But then one day, a couple years ago, he calls me up and he tells me he met a girl, and it's actually somebody I know. That's trouble if she knows me. And I ask him, and he tells me it's Kristen Ramage. I kind of take a step back, because I know Kristen. I've known her since college. I've known her for near 10 years, maybe. And, I immediately put in a good word, because if you've met Kristen, how could you not put in a good word? But in the back of my mind, I started getting worried, because Kristen isn't a train wreck. If you've met her, she's intelligent, she's pretty, she's funny, she's got all this stuff going on. And she was really the first real threat I had in this relationship. And I think just Kristen being you all over again, and definitely much better than I knew you, that long ago. I think I realized I'm not losing the best friend. I'm actually gaining a lot. And in a lot of cases, gained a designated driver and a wingman. I'm not even joking around. On my birthday last year, she drove us from bar to bar, and she actually helped me get 2 girls' phone numbers. Jackson, I love you, but you've never delivered $50. This relationship is just a total win for me, so. But in all seriousness, you know, I have a really high standard I set for who should be even knowing Jackson, let alone married to him. And I think every time I hang out with Kristen, I realize really quickly that that standard is something she exceeds by leaps and bounds every time. You know, every trait that he has that's worth having, she has in spades. And I think if you spend time with her, then you realize really quickly how well they complement each other and, you know, how great they're going to be, and it's great to see. So I wish you guys all the best luck, but I got to tell you, some of your friends, we looked at your guest list, and I mean, I'm thrilled you got Patrick and Martin here. I haven't seen him in years, but you guys left out some people we thought were really important to be here, so we took it upon ourselves to invite them. So if it's okay, can we get the band in here?
That is awesome! No way. That is so That's good.